First contact. The night sky over the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico blazed with countless stars, a testament to the vastness of the universe. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, lead astronomer, sat hunched over her computer, eyes fixed on the scrolling data. For years, they had scanned the cosmos, hoping for a sign of extraterrestrial intelligence. Tonight, something was different. "Holy shit," Elena whispered, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "This can't be." But it was. Hidden within the cosmic background radiation was a pattern, too perfect, too intricate to be natural. It was a message, and it was aimed directly at Earth. Within hours, observatories worldwide confirmed the signal. Governments scrambled, the UN convened an emergency session, and humanity held its collective breath. The message, once decrypted, was simple: we come in peace. Prepare for contact. As panic and excitement gripped the globe, a coalition of world leaders assembled to craft humanity's response. Dr. Rodriguez found herself thrust into the spotlight, advising presidents and prime ministers on the implications of this cosmic hello. "We need to project strength," General Harris of the U.S. Joint Chiefs argued. "Show them we're not to be trifled with." Elena shook her head. "No, we need to show them who we truly are. Our curiosity, our diversity, our resilience. That's what makes us unique." In the end, they settled on a message that encompassed humanity's spirit. "We welcome you with open arms and open minds. Earth awaits your arrival." Months passed, and the world watched the skies. Scientists detected an object decelerating as it entered the solar system, its trajectory a perfect arc towards Earth. As it neared, its true nature became clear, a sleek, silver vessel that dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed. The ship settled into orbit, and a smaller craft descended towards the United Nations headquarters in New York. Global leaders gathered, flanked by scientists, diplomats, and a contingent of military personnel. Just in case, the shuttle touched down with barely a whisper. A ramp extended, and the world held its breath. From the ship emerged beings that defied imagination. Tall, slender creatures with iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Their eyes, 4 of them, blinked in vertical pairs, and tendrils that might have been hair or sensory organs swayed gently around their elongated heads. "Greetings, people of Earth," the lead alien spoke, its voice a melodic trill that somehow translated perfectly to every language. "We are the Zinthuri, and we come seeking friendship and exchange." President Chen of the United Earth Coalition stepped forward. "On behalf of humanity, we welcome you to our world." The initial conversations were a whirlwind of cultural exchange. The Zinthuri, it turned out, were part of a vast intergalactic cooperative, a union of spacefaring races that spanned the galaxy. Earth, they explained, had been observed for centuries, waiting for the right moment to make contact. "Your species is unique," the Zinthuri ambassador, Xylos, explained. "In all our travels, we've never encountered a race quite like yours." As the days passed, misunderstandings arose. The Zinthuri were baffled by human concepts like music and art for pure enjoyment. They struggled to grasp the idea of sports or competition that didn't serve a clear evolutionary purpose. But why would you risk injury for fun? Xylos asked, watching a basketball game with confusion. Elena, who had become the unofficial human cultural liaison, laughed. "Because we can. Because it pushes us to be better, to see what we're capable of." The Zinthuri were equally perplexed by humanity's contradictions. Our capacity for both great kindness and terrible cruelty, our ability to unite in crisis yet fracture in peace, our drive to explore even at great personal risk. "Your species is chaotic," Xylos observed. "Unpredictable. It makes some in the cooperative nervous." Elena felt a chill at those words. "Is that why you're really here? To assess if we're a threat?" Xylos's skin rippled in what Elena had come to recognize as discomfort. "Not exactly. We're here to determine if you're ready." "Ready for what?" to join us among the stars. But first, you must prove yourselves worthy." As Silos explained the trials that awaited humanity, Alina realized that everything they knew was about to change. Earth stood on the precipice of a new era, and the true test of what made humans unique was about to begin. The first contact had been made, but the real challenge lay ahead. Humanity would need every ounce of its ingenuity, adaptability, and that inexplicable human spark to prove they belonged among the cosmos. The galaxy was watching, and Earth was about to show them what it meant to be human. The Galactic Challenge. The United Nations General Assembly Hall buzzed with tension. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat shoulder to shoulder, their usual rivalries set aside in the face of cosmic judgment. At the podium stood Xylos, the Zinthari ambassador, flanked by a holographic display of swirling galaxies and alien worlds. The Intergalactic Cooperative. Xylos began, his melodic voice echoing through the chamber, is an alliance of over 10,000 spacefaring civilizations. We explore, we trade, we learn, and above all, we safeguard the delicate balance of the cosmos. Images flashed across the display. Sprawling space stations, ships that seemed to bend reality itself, and worlds transformed by technology beyond human comprehension. Membership in the cooperative. Xylos continued, is not given lightly. Each species must prove their worth, their ability to contribute to the greater galactic community. And now, humanity faces its trial. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, seated in the front row alongside other key scientists and world leaders, felt her heart race. This was it, the moment that would define humanity's future among the stars. Xylos's 4 eyes blinked in unison. You will face 3 tasks, each designed to test different aspects of your species' capabilities. These trials have been crafted based on our observations of your unique traits and potential. The assembly hall erupted in murmurs. President Chen raised a hand, silencing the crowd. What are these tasks, Ambassador? Silos nodded, and a holographic display shifted. First, survival. We have selected a world that your kind would classify as a death world. Your team must not only survive but thrive in its hostile environment for one full rotation of its star. Gasps and worried whispers filled the room. Alina leaned forward, her scientific curiosity piqued despite the danger. Second, Silos continued, a test of your intellectual and intuitive capabilities. You will be presented with a cosmic enigma, a puzzle that has confounded some of the greatest minds in the cooperative. You must decipher its meaning. The display showed a swirling, ever-shifting pattern of light and shadow. Even at a glance, it made Alina's head spin with its complexity. And finally, Xylos said, his voice taking on a tone of what might have been anticipation, a test of your legendary endurance. A race across a world of our choosing, against champions from across the galaxy. The room erupted in a mix of excitement and apprehension. Humans were natural competitors, but against beings from across the cosmos. The challenge seemed insurmountable. You have one of your Earth months to prepare, Xylos concluded. Choose your champions wisely. They will carry the fate of your species on their shoulders. As the assembly dissolved into frantic discussion, Alina found herself pulled into a side room with President Chen, General Harris, and a handful of other key figures. Dr. Rodriguez, Chen said, her voice tense, you've worked most closely with the Zinthari. What are our chances? Alina took a deep breath. Honestly, I don't know. These tasks, they're beyond anything we've faced. But that's always been humanity's strength, hasn't it? Doing the impossible. General Harris nodded grimly. We need to assemble our team. The best of the best from every field. Not just the best, Alina countered. We need those with that extra spark. The ones who think differently, who see solutions where others see only problems. Over the next weeks, as the world held its breath, a team took shape. There was Maya Patel, the Indian survivalist who had written the book on thriving in extreme environments. John Chen, no relation to the president, a Chinese-American theoretical physicist with a knack for seeing patterns in chaos. Zara Okoro, the Nigerian-born ultra-marathon runner whose endurance had become legendary. But there were surprises too. 18-year-old Hiroshi Tanaka, a high school student from Japan, whose unique way of looking at problems had revolutionized several fields of mathematics. Maria Gomes, a retired firefighter from Brazil, whose quick thinking had saved countless lives in disaster zones. As the team trained and prepared, the world watched and waited. News channels ran constant coverage, dissecting every aspect of the upcoming trials. Theories flew about what the death world might entail, or what cosmic riddle could stump the galaxy's greatest minds. Elena worked tirelessly, coordinating with scientists worldwide to give their champions every possible advantage. But as the day of departure approached, doubt gnawed at her. What if we're not ready? She confided to Xylos during one of their cultural exchange sessions. What if we fail? The Zinthuri's skin rippled in what Elena had come to recognize as their version of a sympathetic smile. Dr. Rodriguez, you misunderstand the nature of these trials. They are not merely about success or failure. What do you mean? The cooperative doesn't seek perfection. We seek potential, the ability to adapt, to think in ways we cannot predict. That is why humanity intrigues us so. You are chaotic, yes, but in that chaos lies infinite possibility. Elena pondered this as she watched the team make their final preparations. They were an odd bunch, different ages, backgrounds, specialties. But there was a fire in their eyes, a determination that seemed uniquely human. On the day of departure, as the sleek Zinthuri ship prepared to whisk Earth's champions to their first trial, Elena addressed the team one last time. Remember, she said, looking each of them in the eye, you carry with you the hopes of not just humanity, but of every being who has ever looked up at the stars and dreamed. Show them what it means to be human. As the ship lifted off, carrying Earth's fate with it, Elena turned to Xylos. I still don't understand. Why these specific trials? The Zinthuri's eyes twinkled with what might have been amusement. Because, Dr. Rodriguez, they are the very trials that forge humanity in the crucible of Earth. Survival against all odds. Understanding the incomprehensible. Pushing beyond all conceived limits of endurance. You have been preparing for this moment since your species first stood upright on the savannas of Africa. As the ship vanished into the sky, Elena felt a surge of hope. Whatever lay ahead, humanity would face it as they always had, with creativity, courage, and that ineffable spark that made them unique in the cosmos. The galactic challenge had begun, and Earth was ready to show the universe what it meant to be human. Defying the odds. The Zinthuri ship emerged from faster-than-light travel with a ripple of distorted space-time. Through the viewport, Earth's champions got their first glimpse of the death world that would be their home for the next solar rotation. Zara Okoro, the ultra-marathon runner, summed it up succinctly. Well, shit. The planet was a nightmarish amalgamation of every hostile environment Earth had to offer. Violently active volcanoes spewed lava across barren plains. Storm systems that dwarfed Jupiter's Great Red Spot raged in the upper atmosphere. And the readings suggested gravity nearly twice that of Earth. Remember your training, Maya Patel, the survivalist, said as they prepared to disembark. We've prepared for worse than this. As the team stepped onto the planet's surface, the crushing gravity hit them like a physical blow. Even with their advanced exosuits, movement was a struggle. The air, while breathable, was thin and acrid. First order of business, John Chen, the physicist, wheezed, "We need shelter." Those storms looked nasty. Over the next days, which felt like weeks under the planet's punishing conditions, the team set up a base camp. They used the limited supplies they were allowed, combined with materials scavenged from the hostile landscape. Maya's expertise proved invaluable, turning seemingly useless volcanic glass into cutting tools and using geothermal vents to power their equipment. But it wasn't just about survival. The terms of the trial required them to thrive. And so, even as they fought against the planet's attempts to kill them every second, they pushed forward. Hiroshi, the young mathematical prodigy, spent hours studying the storm patterns. "There's a rhythm to them," he insisted. "If we can predict them, we can use them." His insights led to the creation of a primitive but effective weather forecasting system. Soon, they were not just avoiding the worst of the storms, but harnessing their power. Wind turbines of their own design generated excess energy. They collected water from the acid rain, filtering it through layers of volcanic rock. Weeks passed, and the team didn't just survive. They began to adapt. Their bodies, pushed to the limits, grew stronger. Movement became easier. They learned to read the planet's moods, to work with its rhythms rather than against them. "You know," Maria Gomes, the former firefighter, said one evening, "the planet's rotation made day and night a nebulous concept. I'm starting to think Earth's been going easy on us all these years." The team laughed, a sound that would have shocked them in the early days of their ordeal. But that was the human way. Finding humor, finding connection, even in the darkest of circumstances. As they neared the end of their trial period, a new challenge arose. The planet's largest volcano, a mountain that made Olympus Mons look like a hill, began to show signs of imminent eruption. An eruption that, according to their calculations, would wipe out everything within a 1,000-mile radius, including their camp. "We could call for extraction," Zora suggested. "We've more than proven we can survive here." John shook his head. "No, we're not just here to survive. We're here to thrive, to show we can handle anything this universe throws at us." And so, in true human fashion, they did the unthinkable. Instead of running from the eruption, they moved towards it. Using their hard-earned knowledge of the planet's geology, they drilled a series of channels, redirecting the flow of lava away from inhabited areas. It was dangerous, backbreaking work, with death looming over them at every moment. But they persevered. As the volcano erupted with a force that shook the very foundations of the planet, the team worked tirelessly, adjusting their makeshift lava channels, battling toxic fumes and extreme heat. Against all odds, their plan worked. The lava flowed harmlessly away, and their camp stood untouched. As the ash settled, and the team looked out over the transformed landscape, a realization struck them. They had done more than survive this world. They had begun to master it. The Zintheri ship returned exactly one planetary rotation after it had left them. As the team boarded, exhausted but triumphant, Silos greeted them with what seemed to be genuine awe. "Unprecedented," the alien said, its skin shimmering with excited colors. "Never in the history of this trial has a species not only survived but thrived to this extent. You've set a new benchmark." But there was no time to rest on their laurels. As soon as they were back aboard the ship, Dylos presented them with their next challenge, the cosmic enigma. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the swirling, ever-shifting pattern of light and shadow. It hurt to look at directly, seeming to twist and warp in impossible ways. "This puzzle has confounded some of the greatest minds in the cooperative," Dylos explained. "You have one standard galactic week to decipher its meaning." The team stared at the pattern, their minds still adjusting from the life-or-death struggles of the death world to this abstract intellectual challenge. I don't even know where to start," Zora admitted, voicing what they were all thinking. But John Chen was already scribbling equations, his eyes darting back and forth between his notes and the shifting display. Hiroshi sat cross-legged, his eyes closed, as if trying to feel the rhythm of the pattern rather than see it. Days passed. The team worked in shifts, approaching the problem from every conceivable angle. They applied mathematics, physics, even music theory and art analysis. Nothing seemed to crack the code. "Maybe we're thinking about this wrong," Maria suggested on the 5th day. "We're trying to understand it through our human perspective. But this is an alien puzzle." It was a breakthrough moment. They began to approach the enigma not as something to be solved, but as something to be experienced. They stopped trying to force it into familiar patterns and instead opened themselves to new ways of perceiving. Hiroshi and John worked together to create a neural interface that allowed them to step into the pattern, experiencing it not just visually, but with all their senses. Maya and Zara, with their heightened spatial awareness from the Death World trial, began to see connections and flows that weren't apparent before. On the final day, with mere hours left, it all clicked into place. The pattern wasn't a code or a message in any traditional sense. It was a representation of the interconnectedness of all things in the universe, from the quantum scale to the cosmic. "It's beautiful," Alina breathed as the team presented their findings to Xylos. "It's like the universe's DNA." Xylos's skin rippled with what they had come to recognize as surprise and admiration. "You've done more than decipher the enigma," the alien said. "You've added to our understanding of it. This is why we created the trial." The human team exchanged proud glances. They had faced the impossible and emerged victorious, not once, but twice. Earth's champions had proven themselves against the harshest environment in the galaxy and unraveled a cosmic mystery that had stumped alien civilizations for millennia. But as they basked in their success, Xylos reminded them that one final challenge remained, the ultimate test of human endurance. As the ship set course for the race that would determine humanity's place in the cosmos, the team felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. They had come this far, defied the odds, and showcased the unique adaptability and insight of the human species. Whatever this final trial had in store, they were ready to give it their all, to prove once and for all that humans were built different. And that difference was exactly what the galaxy needed. The ultimate test. The Zinthari ship descended through wisps of pink clouds, revealing a world that seemed almost too perfect. Rolling hills of silver grass stretched to the horizon, broken only by crystalline rivers and forests of iridescent trees. Twin suns hung in a lavender sky, bathing everything in a warm golden light. "Don't let the beauty fool you," Xylos warned as the team prepared to disembark. This world was engineered specifically for the final trial. Every aspect of it is designed to test your limits. Zara Okoro, Earth's ultra-marathon champion, stepped onto the planet's surface and immediately felt the difference. "The gravity," she gasped. "It's fluctuating." John Chen consulted his instruments. Not just the gravity. Atmospheric pressure, temperature, even the composition of the air. They're all in constant flux. Xylos nodded, its skin shimmering with what might have been approval. "Correct. This planet's conditions change rapidly and unpredictably. Your race will take you across terrains that transform beneath your feet, through weather that shifts from scorching heat to freezing cold in moments." The alien gestured to a distant mountain peak, barely visible on the horizon. "That is your goal. The first to reach the summit will claim victory for their species." As the team took in the magnitude of the challenge before them, they noticed for the first time that they weren't alone. Gathered nearby were beings from across the galaxy, some humanoid, others defying description. All of them radiated the unmistakable aura of champions. "You are the last to arrive," Xylos explained. "These are the representatives of other species seeking admission to the cooperative. They have all passed the previous trials, just as you have." Maya Patel eyed the competition warily. Some of them looked like they were built for this kind of endurance. She wasn't wrong. Among the gathered aliens were beings with multiple legs, others with wings, and some that seemed to float above the ground without any visible means of propulsion. "Yeah," Maria Gomes agreed, "but none of them are human." There was no more time for conversation. A signal sounded, high and clear, and the race began. The assembled champions surged forward, a kaleidoscope of alien forms all striving towards the distant peak. The human team had decided that Zara would be their primary runner, with the others acting as a support crew. They would rotate in and out, sharing the burden and allowing Zara to maintain a steady pace. At first, things seemed almost easy. Zara's training on Earth had prepared her well for the changing conditions. She adapted quickly to the fluctuating gravity, altering her gait to maintain efficiency whether she felt as light as a feather or heavy as lead. But as hours stretched into days, the true nature of the challenge became clear. The environment wasn't just changing, it was actively working against them. Storms would appear out of nowhere, driving rain and hail that seemed to target the runners specifically. The very ground beneath their feet would shift, turning from solid to liquid to gas, and back again. Many of the alien competitors began to fall behind or drop out entirely. But the humans pressed on. When Zara needed rest, John would take over, his physicist's mind calculating the most efficient path through the ever-changing landscape. When the terrain became too treacherous for running, Maya's survival skills came into play, finding safe routes and improvising equipment to traverse impossible obstacles. Even young Hiroshi played a crucial role, his mathematical genius allowing him to predict patterns in the chaos, giving the team precious minutes of preparation before each new challenge. As they neared the halfway point, something unexpected happened. The remaining alien competitors, seeing the humans' teamwork and adaptability, began to emulate their strategy. Soon, impromptu alliances formed, with different species working together, sharing their unique strengths to overcome the planet's relentless assaults. "Look at that," Maria marveled during a rare quiet moment. "We're not just running a race. We're teaching the galaxy how to cooperate." But the planet had one final surprise in store. As the mountain loomed closer, the team found themselves facing a sheer cliff face, smooth as glass and stretching up into the clouds. "No way around it," Maya said after scouting. "We have to go up." It was here that the humans' unique physiology truly shone. While many of the alien species struggled with the vertical ascent, the human team's opposable thumbs and upright posture gave them a distinct advantage. They climbed tirelessly, finding handholds where none seemed to exist, their bodies pushed to the absolute limit of endurance. As they neared the summit, only one other team remained in contention, a group of crystalline beings that flowed like liquid up the mountainside. It would be a photo finish. With the peak in sight, Zara found reserves of strength she never knew she possessed. Every muscle screamed in protest, her lungs burned with each breath. But she pushed on. The crystalline aliens were right beside her, their faceted bodies glinting in the light of the setting suns. In the final moment, as both Zara and the alien reached for the summit, the planet had one last trick to play. The peak itself vanished, replaced by a shimmering portal. Without hesitation, Zara dove through, and found herself back where they had started, at the foot of the mountain. Stylos stood there, along with the other alien observers. "Congratulations," the Zenthari said, its voice filled with genuine admiration. "You have completed the final trial." Zara looked around in confusion. "But we didn't reach the peak. We didn't win." Xylos's skin rippled in what they had come to recognize as amusement. "Ah, but you misunderstand. The race was never about reaching the summit. It was about the journey itself. About pushing beyond your limits, adapting to impossible challenges, and most importantly, learning to work together, not just as a species, but with others unlike yourselves." As the rest of the human team emerged from the portal, along with the remaining alien competitors, a sense of shared accomplishment filled the air. They had all faced the impossible together, and in doing so, had transcended the boundaries of their individual species. The ultimate test, it turned out, wasn't just about human endurance. It was about humanity's unique ability to inspire, to cooperate, and to bring out the best in others, even those from the farthest reaches of the galaxy. As the twin suns set on this engineered world, Earth's champions stood tall, tired but triumphant. They had proven to the cosmos that humans were indeed built different, and that difference was exactly what the universe needed. A new era. The great hall of the intergalactic cooperative hummed with anticipation. Representatives from thousands of species filled the vast chamber, their diverse forms creating a living tapestry of galactic life. At the center stood Earth's champions, still bearing the marks of their trials but standing tall with pride. Xylos, the Zintheri ambassador, addressed the assembly, its melodious voice carrying to every corner of the hall. Esteemed members of the cooperative, we stand at a historic moment. For the first time in over a millennium, we welcome a new species into our ranks. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Some leaned forward in curiosity, others shifted uneasily. Humans were an unknown quantity, and change always brought uncertainty. These humans, Kylos continued, have not merely passed our trials. They have excelled in ways we never anticipated, showing us new possibilities and challenging our preconceptions. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing highlights from the 3 trials. The assembly watched in awe as the humans transformed a death world into a habitable base, unraveled a cosmic enigma that had stumped the greatest alien minds, and turned a grueling endurance race into a lesson in cooperation. In the face of impossible odds, they adapted. When confronted with an unsolvable puzzle, they found a new way of perceiving. And when pushed to their physical limits, they showed us the true meaning of endurance, not just of the body, but of the spirit. The hall fell silent, all eyes on the small group of humans who had reshaped the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. But perhaps their greatest strength, Xylos said, its skin shimmering with emotion, is their ability to inspire others, to bring out the best in those around them, even in species entirely unlike their own. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had been watching the proceedings from a special chamber on Earth, felt a surge of pride. This was what she had seen in humanity from the beginning, not just their individual strengths, but their capacity to unite and elevate others. Back in the Great Hall, Xylos turned to the human team. Zara Okoro, John Chen, Maya Patel, Maria Gomes, Hiroshi Tanaka, you stand here not just as representatives of Earth, but as embodiments of the qualities we value most in the cooperative: adaptability, ingenuity, perseverance, and above all, the ability to bridge divides and foster understanding. The Zintheri raised its arms, and a cheer erupted from the assembled aliens. It was a cacophony of sounds, roars, whistles, harmonic hums, and noises that defied description. But the message was clear: humanity had been accepted. As the celebration died down, the real work began. Earth's integration into the galactic community would be a monumental task, filled with challenges and opportunities. The exchange of knowledge and technology began almost immediately. Humanity shared its unique perspectives on art, music, and culture, introducing concepts like improvisation in jazz that fascinated species with more rigid thought patterns. In return, they gained insights into sciences that would revolutionize life on Earth: clean energy, advanced medicine, and faster-than-light travel. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Some conservative elements in the cooperative feared the chaos humans might bring to their ordered society. Others worried about humanity's warlike past and the potential for conflict. It was here that humanity's diplomatic skills shone. They listened to concerns, adapted where necessary, but also stood firm in their convictions. They showed the galaxy that diversity and unity could coexist, that progress often came from productive disagreement and the clash of ideas. As months turned to years, humanity's influence spread throughout the cooperative. They became known as problem solvers, called in to mediate disputes between species or tackle challenges that had long been thought impossible. Earth itself was transformed. With access to galactic knowledge and resources, they solved the climate crisis, ended scarcity, and began to heal the damage done to their planet over centuries of industrialization. But they never forgot the struggles that had shaped them, using their past challenges as fuel for future innovations. Perhaps the most profound change came in how the species of the cooperative saw themselves. Humanity's example had shown them that they were not limited by their biology or their history. That with determination and creativity, any obstacle could be overcome. 5 years after that fateful first contact, Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station. Earth's first off-world colony. Below her, the blue marble of Earth shone, while above, the stars beckoned. Ships of all shapes and sizes zipped by, carrying beings from across the galaxy. "Quite a view, isn't it?" a familiar voice trilled. Elena turned to see Xylos, its iridescent skin reflecting the starlight. "It never gets old," Elena replied with a smile. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come." "And yet," Xylos said, "I suspect this is only the beginning. You humans have a saying, don't you? The sky's the limit." Elena laughed. "We might need to update that one. These days, not even the sky can hold us back." As they stood there, watching the endless dance of ships and stars, Elena felt a profound sense of pride and purpose. Humanity had faced its greatest test and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. They had proven to the galaxy that humans were indeed built different, and that difference was a strength to be celebrated. The challenges ahead were many, the future uncertain. But one thing was clear: whatever the universe had in store, humanity would face it as they always had, with courage, creativity, and an unshakable spirit of adventure. The next chapter in their cosmic story was just beginning, and the possibilities were as infinite as the stars themselves.